almost finished undergoing the massive repairs to our structure in order, after our unfortunate encounter with that strange space labyrinth. The entire area of space surrounding the labyrinth has been quarantined, and all Starfleet vessels have been ordered to stay clear. It was a heavy loss for the crew of the Kismet. We lost quite a few of our own, and as such, the staff at Narendra Station has mandated that all senior staff members undergo counseling sessions, with counseling also being open to any officers aboard the Kismet who wish it. But for us senior staff, it is mandatory. Kinda wish I didn't have to do this, but what are you gonna do? I did manage to put in a couple of words in order to have a brief discussion with the Admiral before I go in for my counseling, but we'll see how that goes. End log.
Yes, test. It's working.
All right. So, Captain, where do you want to be?
I think I'd like to be right outside the Admiral's quarters.
All right.
How about what's mandatory?
Enter.
And the Captain Grennan walks in and says, "Ah, Admiral Heppard."
What can I do for you, Captain?
Oh, well, it's just been a while since it's been a while since we've last spoken face to face. Last time I really spoke with you was when the Kismet returned after our unfortunate encounter. And before I go in for my counseling, I just thought I'd catch up with you. Having these formal discussions on over ship intercoms light years away doesn't quite have the same feeling now, does it? And he takes a seat.
Not at all. How are the counseling sessions going amongst your crew, Captain?
Well, so far a large number has agreed to counseling sessions, even those who weren't mandated. Needless to say, my second in command has put up quite the stiff resistance.
Yeah, I would imagine he would. Just got to remind him that this is mandatory, Captain.
I'm working on it. So, I've been rather preoccupied with the Kismet's repairs, and as such, I haven't had too much of an opportunity to ask the state of things in the fleet and other things in general. Haven't had much time to read reports. How have things been going in the greater sphere of Starfleet influence?
Well, we have received a report about the Midas array making contact with Voyager. And yeah, I was quite surprised.
That's the captain of that. That's and you see he's like searching for the name.
We all try to forget.
Oh, it's the worst. Yeah, he you can see he's searching for the name, but he does not seem to be getting it. Oh, that's Janeway, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I was think 3 years under her at the academy. I remember we had Professor Harrison's quantum computing class together. But I knew her vaguely in passing. We didn't talk at all. But it's good to hear that they're safe. I know that the Voyager went missing a while ago.
Yeah, almost 6 years, I think.
Is that how long they've been away?
Somewhere around that.
Okay. Wow. Well, good to hear that they're doing all right then.
Yeah, I mean, they still have a long way to go.
Well, I'll be sure. Hang on, guys. Yeah, well, that's good to hear. Anything else? Oh, I remember. And he takes a pad that he's sort of just been carrying at his side, and he puts it down. Have there been any updates on the Zarconia situation?
It's been pretty quiet at the moment. I mean, we have been getting intermittent reports that they have been starting to venture deeper into the Shackleton expanse from their planet. But other than that, they've been pretty quiet.
Right, a mobile planet is quite the interesting thing to keep track of. But I suppose if they're not causing any trouble, then no reason to be concerned then.
My sentiments exactly, Captain.
Oh, that's good then. Anything else that I need to be apprised of?
Just Starfleet will be sending out new tactical reports and potential communication upgrades after they pile through the mountains of data they receive from Voyager.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see a report on that. Now, one last thing before I go. Just a slight concern of mine, I suppose. He skims through his pad again. I hear that a fighter squadron is being folded into the 10th Fleet.
Yes, I think Starfleet Command finds it prudent that with the escalating Orion tensions that a more combat-oriented vessel should be dispatched out here, and I think they fit the bill perfectly.
All right. I don't like it, but I understand.
Yeah, this was originally supposed to be an exploration mission, but the Orions seem to have gotten here before us.
Well, let's hope we can keep things from escalating if we can.
Yeah, no Thunderbirds unite.
All right. Well, guess that's everything then, Admiral. I'll be taking my leave then.
Very good, Captain.
And
I hope your sessions go well.
Yeah, so do I. And Captain Grennan leaves the Admiral's office.
Yep, I got doors. Where are my doors? There's the doors.
Draining doors.
What?
Nothing. In joke. Personal in joke.
Cool. Was that all you had at the moment, Captain?
Yeah, that was all I wanted to do.
All right. So I believe we are actually going to start with Lieutenant Evans. Let me pull up the notes here really quick. So yeah, Evans, we'll go ahead and jump into you with the conversation with the counselor. If he's here.
I'm here.
Oh, cool. Cool. All right. Let's get started. So, Lieutenant Evans, based on our previous conversations, you seem to have a tendency to focus on your shortcomings, even though you have succeeded at your missions. There is one mission in particular I want to discuss with you. It was the mission to the Argon planet.
Oh, yes.
So please tell me about the mission.
So we were... there was an away mission sent down to the planet's surface. I was set in charge, or set as the lead of the mission, or the away team. We were surveying the planet, scanning any life we could find.
Did you find any life on this planet?
Initially, we only found plant life, and we found a few insects. Though we did get brief sensor readings of something a bit more complex, which we assumed were sensor ghosts initially.
Please go on, Lieutenant.
So after our initial survey, we set up a small trap to catch some kind of small animal to study it, and we found it was destroyed by an intelligent life form on the planet that we were unaware of their existence. Turns out they were primitive life form
Hmm.
who we had
That's-
been showing ourselves to the entire time.
Hmm. It's very interesting. A life form on an Argon planet.
Who may or may not have been invisible.
So what did you think about the mission? Did you think it was an overall success? Did you think it was a failure?
Well, while we did get some fascinating information, we did violate the Prime Directive, which I not only uphold because I have to, but because I believe in it.
That is good for a young lieutenant to keep in mind the inner workings of the Prime Directive. And I believe that you did leave the planet after discovering this species, did you not?
We did leave about as quickly as we could.
So where do you think you failed in this mission, Lieutenant?
I feel that I should have realized something was wrong. There was not. When we scanned a life form, an intelligent life, the first time, once is an anomaly, but then it happened again. Once is an anomaly, twice is a pattern.
But you couldn't have had any way of knowing what your tricorders were picking up.
True, but should have looked into it more before just barging in.
There is one other thing I did want to talk to you about. I of course looked over your service record, and I noticed that you were stationed in San Francisco when it was attacked.
Yes, I was still a cadet in the academy. Was I on the day? Oh gosh, the day
It's okay,
the
Lieutenant. Take your time.
academy was attacked. I was on a training mission on an old Miranda class. It's the USS Sierra. We were being led by my mentor, Admiral Brock or Barrick.
Right. You can probably set up the scene you have now, unless you had
Okay.
more.
So I was on the bridge, standing at my station behind the Admiral, and we were working on gathering some asteroids for some research training for some of the science personnel on the ship. And we could, I believe, start there.
Okay. So did you want to give everyone in their parts, Evans? Because I think you probably know it better than I do.
Okay. So, oh gosh, I lost it. Okay. So, So the parts we have are an Andorian security officer, Shalar Thalak. I was thinking that part could go to Dr. Efrix, perhaps.
Okay.
Is she still a cadet or does she have a rank?
She is a cadet. She was in the same class as
Okay, cool.
Evans.
Can you put the name in chat?
Yes, I can.
I'll go ahead
Or-
and I'll go ahead and do that for you.
Okay.
If
Just so I remember what to answer to.
Right. So aside from that, we've got somebody at Ops named Alter. We got a con officer, someone in engineering, and doctor. I don't have any casting in the way of that. If anyone wants to, I mean, like, do you guys just want to choose from this? Because I don't have anyone specific in mind for anything.
Do you want me to take a roll?
well, like I think the plan is to have everybody just kind of pick one of these smaller roles here.
Sure. What's a male roll?
Really, these are all last names. I don't have any first names picked out, so they could go either way.
I'll go Evic if you want.
Evic, or that's engineering.
I'll take Toban.
Ooh, all right. You still have an ops and a con available.
Sorry. So briefly, this is during the Breen attack or San Francisco.
Yeah, we'll set it up here in a minute.
Okay.
Really, I think the important roles are probably the ops and con for the first part of this.
Yeah, and both ops and con are still open.
Captain?
Hmm.
If it's more important, I can switch to one if you want me.
Did we lose the captain and Nave?
Hello?
Captain, Nave, com check.
Hello?
Yes, we can
Okay.
hear you.
Uh,
Can you
We can
hear
hear you.
us?
Were you trying to talk to me?
Yes.
Yes, we still have two parts available in this, the ops and the
Oh.
con.
Oh, I see. You want everyone playing this. All right.
Yep. So yeah, you could take ops or con.
Hold on while my Discord stops like dying.
Are we all playing
Excuses.
cadets?
Who's doing what?
Pend is doing the engineering. Ajula is doing the dock.
Okay, I'll take ops then.
All right. Well, then I guess that leaves Nave as the con.
True, but it sounds like Nave is either not here or his mic is not working.
All right, not as important. All right. So I'll go ahead and set up the scene for you. Let me get to it. So the con officer and the ops officer are on the bridge of this old Miranda class, with an Admiral Barrick, and Evans is at tactical. And you guys are on the academy like training mission, you know, like that check flight thing that they do in order to prerequisite for graduation or whatever.
So we're
so
all
it's-
cadets training for these roles.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Like you guys are on your test flight, like right before your graduation, essentially.
Really? This is like a flashback.
Yes.
Yeah. all right.
Yep. Yeah. So you guys are on the ship. So I'm going to be taking over as Admiral Barrick. and I think I'm just going to go ahead and start, and you guys are just going to work the stations as you would as these characters. So yeah.
On the bridge.
Right now it's just the con and ops. You guys are going to be brought in later. Engineering and the doctor are going to be brought in later.
Gotcha. Efrix is asking what her role.
Security, right?
You are actually the. Oh, she was security. I thought she was first officer.
Oh well. So what I was saying with that is she was like another member of the security team.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. So yes, you are security.
Sweet.
And
I
I
double
think.
check what I was role playing here.
Yeah. I think we just got our notes crossed. But yeah. So yeah, you're security, and I believe then you would probably be in the later bit as well. Right. So Cadet Davila, are we in position?
It's not me.
That's not anyone.
I think that's technically made, but
That's good. He says yes. Cadet Evans, you got the program set up to track this asteroid in?
Yes, I do.
All right, Cadet, just like in training, make it happen.
All right, nice and easy.
Ooh, I was supposed to type stuff.
So I start tractoring that in.
Yep, hold on.
Wait,
Do we
Who's
need
that
to
ops?
roll for this?
Wait,
Nope.
who is Shalar Tholak?
me.
But who is that?
She's a security officer. She's not on the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Evans just engaged the tractor beam at this moment.
Yeah.
We're getting a decently sized vessel. Preliminary readings indicate, oh boy, it's Breen, sir.
A Breen ship? What are the Breen doing out here? Hail them, Cadet.
Aye, sir.
Debris?
We're getting no response.
I wonder if they got separated from a slaving run they were on. Evans,
Yes, sir.
fire a warning shot at them.
Firing warning shot.
Do we have phaser fire? Starship? Nope, wouldn't be there.
Pew pew.
Everything got moved.
Zap.
I know, right? Nope, that's not it. Oh well, phaser fire happens. As I just find the weapon special effects.
Pretty much. There we go.
There we go. So right after Evans fires the warning shot, the ship is struck by some type of weapon, and the entire power goes out. And he goes, "Ops, report."
The reports. It would appear power is out all over the ship.
Did you get it back on?
Working on it, sir.
And then, just as that happens, another blast rocks the ship, and the console at the con panel explodes, and a piece of the console glass impales the admiral right in the chest, and he falls to the ground. And
Everyone
as you
died
are
in
sitting
the
there,
flashback.
everyone on the bridge can hear that he's struggling to breathe.
Am I there?
No.
Okay.
Counter combat. Medical team to bridge. There's an emergency.
Could I try untrained destabilize?
The con position exploded with you at it.
Oh.
Ouch.
I
So
know
I'm
the
gonna-
feeling.
So I'm gonna run over to the admiral.
Yep.
Damn it.
I don't know why I did that. Disregard the chirp. And as you get to the admiral, you just see that he's having trouble breathing.
Damn it, damn it, damn it.
Evans, that's your cue.
Do we have any kind of like any medical equipment on the bridge for situations like this?
There's generally like a emergency med kit somewhere by the.
So I'll state to the stream, this is why we love Evans.
Okay.
And yeah, I get down next to the admiral, open it up.
All right, and then inside you just see the medical tricorder, or you see a tricorder, a hypo spray of like the generic hypo spray, the pain reliever, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so there's nothing to help like
He's more likely to have a
slow
panic
one's
attack than
heart
actually
rate
save
or
him.
anything.
You got that one hypo spray, the medical tricorder, and possibly like a dermal regenerator, and I think that's typically all that's in a med kit.
Okay. So I take out the hypo spray, give him the pain reliever, put a hand on his shoulder. Or can you talk? Or is this? Are you feeling better yet?
And he kind of reaches over, and he's still heavy of breath. Evans, I don't think I'm gonna make it. And he's still breathing.
Yes, you are.
Evans,
Yes.
and take command of the ship.
Are you sure? I mean, surely someone else.
Get. And he starts breathing even heavier. Get everyone to safety.
I will. Just. I will.
And over the next couple of minutes, the admiral is still having this hard breathing, and he just kind of keeps repeating over and over, "Get everyone to safety." And slowly and slowly and slowly, his breath starts to slow down. To eventually, probably about 10 minutes later, it stops totally. Just as probably the doctor gets up to the bridge after climbing through the Jeffries tubes.
Oh, that's right, because everything is down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jeffrey's tubes are out.
How am I doing on getting the power back?
Not at all.
Can't even hear the red alert sirens.
So, Evans, you are now in command.
Doctor, am I wrong? Is he still alive?
Am I there?
Yeah, you're on the bridge now.
Frankly, Troy, I can't even get this med tricorder. I'm negative pulse, negative respiration.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want me to do.
Luckily, Grenin's only playing a cadet in this scene, so he doesn't have the authority to blow up a ship.
We just killed the friggin' admiral. Cadet crew, we just killed the friggin' admiral.
And in the darkness, you just hear sounds like someone slamming their fist onto a bridge console.
Jeez, what are you doing?
Well, everything else I've tried isn't working. and I feel like letting out a little percussive maintenance right now.
Anyone can tell what course we're on? Are we drifting? Are we in orbit?
You were just kind of stopped in space around like a asteroid, like a little asteroid field in dead space.
So I stand up, look at the doctor.
Sorry, is someone talking to me?
Yes. So I stand up, I look at you. Do we
What
have
turn was it?
anything to cover him up with?
And if the hammer doesn't work, bash it with your face.
And up here, we can move him down to his quarters or down to sick bay. Something there. Are we abandoning ship?
Well, currently, I don't know if we have the means to abandon ship.
Let me think. I think the escape pods are chemically propelled. If we can just get them activated, they should get us clear of the ship.
All right, I'll call engineering, see if that's still a possibility.
And at this point,
Oh,
the con systems are down at this point.
snap.
We're just gonna run deck by deck, just try to do a Paul Revere here.
Okay, how far is it to engineering?
I believe under Miranda, probably 6 decks or so. Just an estimate.
Okay. So,
Acting Captain Evans, I think you're gonna need my help. I can't seem to get anything out of the consoles up here. If I'm gonna be of any help at all in getting the ship's power back, I'm gonna have to be somewhere other than here.
correct. Oh, do you think you'd be helpful in down in engineering?
Most likely, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to go down to engineering, tell the folks down there what happened, ask them about the escape pods if that's still viable. Find out.
Okay.
Yeah, so look into that. See if there's anything that could be done about the power loss as well.
And whoever's going deck by deck, can you please get me some casual? Tell me where the biggest concentration of wounded are. So we can just try to get them together, please.
Okay, I'll. Where do you want them to gather?
It's, mess hall, cargo bay. What's a central location here? Just checking the map.
The
There,
closest.
mess hall.
Yep.
Let's use that.
Okay,
Yeah.
mess hall it is. I'll tell anyone I find that injured should report to the mess hall. Okay. Here I go. And you sort of hear the clattering of footsteps, the opening of a hatch, and then clambering as a shadowy figure darts down one of the Jeffries tubes.
Right. For those on the bridge, you guys start to notice that the temperature is starting to get a little bit colder.
Yay!
Right, we're starting to lose environmental control.
Tovan, on the note of the injured as far as taking the Admiral elsewhere, I think his ready room would suffice. It's closer. It'll allow you to see to everyone else sooner. So I'm now gonna see if I can get to wherever like any scientists would be, preferably like the head scientists on board.
Do we have any actual officers on board, or is it just us cadet?
Just cadets. There are possibly a few, possibly like a few like supervisors and stuff in the various departments.
Okay, so I'd probably see if I could find like the science advisor, but if not, just some of the cadets.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably just jump to your last at this point because you kind of have it written that nothing happens until then.
Okay.
All right, so for the sake of you guys foaming around the ship and trying to figure out what to do, essentially nothing happens until this scene. So like the person in engineering has no luck getting any power to any of the systems. Essentially, the ship is dead. The loss of heat was the ship not having environmental controls, including life support. So all that is starting to tick away. As I think one of the crew members were sent to look over the ship, probably 3/4 of the ship's complement was killed in the initial attack. So you find a lot of dead bodies laying around. Engineering was barely staffed after this. A lot of damage, damage all over the bulkheads. Emergency force field's not working. Put bits of the ship open to space. So it's really a bad scene.
Dramatic flashback.
So Evans orders everyone that is still alive, and this was probably after a few days of you guys just stuck on the ship, not able to do anything on it.
Evans murders everyone.
So he orders everybody into the mess hall in an attempt to try to keep warm and try to keep one room, viable.
I'm already there working on any wounded I've been able to save.
Yep. So we'll go ahead and head to that scene. Go ahead, Evans.
So I'm just looking around at the people in the room, trying to figure out how to, what I'm really supposed to do. And I head over to Tholok. Tholok is... Can you think of anything we can do that I haven't thought of or done?
Well, have we tried
Whoops!
using some? Ooh. Have we tried using cell phones? Have we tried
Have we tried calling
Trying
an
to-
Uber?
rig something that could send out old school Morse code?
Most...
Morse code transmitted how?
If we could build
Something that
none
would
of those radios would only send out signals at the speed of light. It's not sufficient.
unless people are already looking for us.
True, but if they can find our radio signals at that range...
No, I didn't crash the car.
I mean, you
Suppose-
asked for things you hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
That's-
Alright, that's
I'm sorry, you asked for what?
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, you asked for what? I couldn't hear that.
Oh, it was to him. It was you asked for things that he hadn't thought of
No,
yet.
I have one idea. You're not gonna like it.
Oh?
One thing that I think any Starfleet vessel in a 20 light year radius would be able to pick up. And that's a warp core detonation.
You're right. I don't like it.
If we all pack onto escape pods, jettison out, leave the warp core to self-destruct, someone's gonna pick it up.
You know, that gives me an idea though. Warp cores can be ejected. Do we need power for this, or is this a mechanical?
Do we have any of the shuttlecraft?
Actually, that is a good point. Do we have any shuttlecraft?
There are no shuttlecrafts, and for the sake of this scene, you guys have already tried to eject the escape pods. Hence why you're still on the ship.
Ah, okay. Never mind then.
So, Alter, is the mechanism used for ejecting a warp core, is that mechanical or does that require power?
Probably requires power for the ignition from the escape pod, but the weapon disabled those two.
Okay.
Is the warp core even on? Do we have any reaction?
No, the ship is essentially dead in space.
So we'd even have to start the warp core just to be able to make it.
Which would solve our problem.
Exactly. Okay, so far we got a radio as an idea. Blankets.
What?
We need to get blankets. It's going to keep getting colder.
I
We
mean,
need-
you're not wrong.
We're going to need more blankets, I mean.
Blankets
There's
for
probably
everyone.
some rooms we haven't checked.
If we raid some more of the quarters, we'd probably find more.
Yeah. That's true.
There's
And at this point, it gets even colder, and like every little thing you do, everything will say, you get that puff of your breath smoke coming out of your mouths, and like everyone except for probably Efric's character is really starting to shiver at this point
Yeah, I'm good.
because you're
Just like
Andorian.
home.
do any of you know
As
how
the air
to?
keeps getting thinner and keeps getting colder, I'm going to lose some of these patients on the margins here.
Does anyone know how to make that radio? Could it be powered with the power cells from a phaser or a tricorder if those weren't knocked out?
Yeah. I suppose if we gathered enough phaser power packs, I could probably jury rig something together. Enough to power maybe a small subspace transmitter.
Okay.
But it'd have to be extremely focused. We'd have to know exactly the direction that we're pointing it in.
Sounds like a job for Epic.
Yeah, you and Epic, I'm sure, could get something done on that.
And Pend, your character is here as well, but you really don't look good.
I don't think that's something I'm feeling up to, unfortunately.
All right.
If we bring the materials to you, can you talk Alter through it?
I believe it's possible, but I don't know.
Okay. Oh boy. So Alter, I'll try to work with you on getting some of those parts. If anyone else wants to help us get that together, you're more than welcome to.
We
As
can
far
check
as
when we go gather blankets.
yes, as far as where to point it, I think back to Earth would probably be the best direction for that. That's where any search parties would be coming from. So we'd best get on that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and fast forward time a little bit, so you guys go out and get the blankets, and the ship is getting even colder, to the point where like everyone is very physically shaking. You notice that some of the members are starting to get frostbite on their arms, on their legs, on their noses, on their ears. Everyone's having a hard time walking or moving or really doing anything.
And by this point, I've kind of set up like an area for people to amass, just huddle together to try to keep the warmth as much as we can.
Okay, so I guess are we gonna try and set this thing up?
Yes, how are we doing with the subspace transmitter?
How are we doing with the subspace transmitter?
Barely any work has been done on it because you guys are so cold. You're trying.
If you want, my motor skills are probably still more intact than yours.
Yeah, plus her fingers probably aren't as numb as ours.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
Unfortunately, Evek's fingers are suffering from frostbite and he's barely staying awake.
RP it pinned.
I don't
Hey, come on.
think that's. I don't think that's what we should do. It's,
We gotta do something or we could die out here.
So, Evik, did you say that's not what we should do?
I don't know anymore. I'm sorry, but I'm struggling to concentrate.
It's okay. It's all right. Okay. Just don't fall asleep, Evik.
Stay
Hey, we gotta keep him awake, though. Hey,
Yes.
don't go to sleep.
Okay, I'll try.
Good.
I look at the cadets on either side of him. Say, do not let Evik fall asleep.
Right.
Both
Right.
to make sure he stays awake at all times.
Okay. So I assume Who's It is gonna work on our transmitter, right?
I'm sure with you talking her through it.
Yeah. Because I think probably her hands are a little steadier than yours at this point.
Right.
Both a little less knowledge of subspace systems.
Yeah.
So Ed, what is that a check or?
Well, no, because there's no character sheets, but there's something about to happen.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I've already loaded hypospray with sodium pentobarbital, and I'm thinking about what point I'm going to use it.
Evans,
Yes, Evik?
I'm sorry.
What are you sorry for?
No response.
Oh.
Evik? I think, Doctor?
Yeah. Yeah, what do you need?
Oh,
Well,
is there
he froze to death.
anything- We lost him, didn't we?
Hold on. Vulcans can last a little bit longer with very low heart rate. Can't feel a damn pulse through my damn fingers.
We're gonna die out here.
Guys, the
they
more of
gotta
us, the more of us,
They gotta
It's
be
the more of
looking
us
for us.
guys, I gotta tell you, the more of us breathing, the less environment there's gonna be. So, you know, you want to draw straws? Any freaking volunteers here?
You get a very strong look from it.
They gotta be looking for us. I mean,
Yes,
they don't just go missing.
Did we leave the soul system, by the way?
Yes, yeah.
And question: how long has this been going on? Like, how long have we been missing?
You estimate about 5 days.
Okay.
we can't be far from our flight path. We gotta know roughly where we are.
But without any power signature, they'd be just trying to find a lump of metal in the middle of an asteroid field.
Put some life signs on it yet?
A lot of tritanium. High concentration of it. These are not tritanium asteroids.
And signs of weapons fire, I guess.
That would help.
Sounds like weapons firing like we're not in the middle of a friggin' war zone here. Very funny.
So cold.
The breath in my hands is starting to get cold.
Guys, stop wasting oxygen talking about the freaking cold.
Okay, I guess I'll stop talking. Just talking. And so yeah, you hear so actually you don't hear. Altair just goes quiet. And he doesn't say anything for a real long time.
Sorry, Captain. Apparently, your death was
no,
not impactful.
no one cares.
Oh snap!
Wait, he died?
You did. You. I swear to God.
I thought he just stopped talking.
Imagine you standing up.
No.
Someone stopped talking. I thought you were just doing what the doctor said.
His last words were, and he just stops talking. He's not responding anymore. He's dead.
Oh no.
We thought you were just like, okay, I'm gonna stop talking.
You didn't get that? God damn it.
I mean, I understand me not getting it. I mean, I get it when that one guy died in our cell, but
Oh.
Sorry.
Wow.
At least I muted myself so I couldn't respond anymore.
Well, you set it up a little better.
You're welcome.
No offense, Cap.
Okay, who's still alive here? I'm just sort of waiting.
So apparently,
It's
Evans,
Apparently,
it's-
the captain died.
Shalar,
Great time. Now we have to worry about time paradox.
so it's Ajula, it's your character, it's Dr. Effort's character, it's Evan's character, and there's maybe 5 other unnamed NPCs that are probably there shivering and trying to keep warm.
Okay. Any
But it's
progress
but
in
it's
that
ex-
space?
but it's extremely cold, and you probably have gotten to the point where even the Andorian can no longer function in this cold.
So holding my hypo spray.
so we're just all cuddled for warmth, but it doesn't exist anymore.
More or less.
And a pile of dead bodies.
I'm
I was so sure they were gonna find us.
Go find us, alright. Not sure. Fast enough? And I look over to the cadet next to me. It's gonna start nudging him. Kevin. Can't fall asleep, Kevin. Kevin? Like, nudge him harder. Nudge him a bit harder and he just falls over.
And then with that, the away team's rescued, but we'll actually head back into the counselor's chair. I see. You did get a lot of people out of that situation, Evans.
It's- But so many I didn't. Kevin was so close. Just a couple more minutes.
Now listen, Evans. You were able to get the ones that survived that situation through through insurmountable odds. You should be proud of that fact.
Suppose I should. Just keep. I think about the ones I knew. The ones I didn't know. Who never got a chance to meet.
but you got to hold on to their memories. You must cherish the moments you did spend with them. You must learn from this situation so that it never happens again.
Right.
Yeah, that's better.
And I think this will actually be a good place to end Evan's scene. That was
God
Evans.
damn! Holy
Good
fuck!
fucking job, man.
Clap, clap, clap.
Very dramatic.
Jesus!
Except for the fact where none of us realized the captain was dead.
Oh my god.
Captain sucks at RP.
Yeah, that was like a flashback of episode 3.
Hey, that wasn't that bad. What is me shutting up and being quiet that hard to believe?
Yes.
You were just told repeatedly to shut up.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, it wasn't like you went off in a corner and then like it was like, quit talking, and you're like, okay, I quit talking, and we're like, all right.
But it's the fact that I think you guys were expecting a later response from me.
Probably.
Yeah, because we just expect you to keep talking.
It also doesn't. It
I
also
was
doesn't help
racking my brain for ideas. I was like,
Yeah,
Right.
For
I
me
was just-
personally, I imagined everyone in that conversation standing up.
Oh.
So that kind of pushed it over to the edge for me, not realizing.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, so who are we going to next after just that fuckery?
all the feels.
Yeah, I gotta say, Evan's backstory was fucking brilliant.
I think we could probably go to volunteers. I think Penn said he wanted to go last. So whoever wants to go next.
Going once, going twice. Me.
All right. I guess we'll go to Ajula. Let me pull up the notes for you.
Quick question: does my voice sound weird at all? Because my connection is just killing me.
Sounds okay on this end.
Pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, you probably shouldn't ask Penn that.
All right. So yeah, we'll go ahead and go to the doctor's office. The doctor is sitting there. He's dressed in civilian attire. He definitely has this old timey like he uses pen and paper to write the notes as opposed to a data pad.
Is he in a tweed jacket with leather?
Probably. Because I did kind of model him after that. So he says, Commander Ajula.
It's Lieutenant Ajula.
Oh, my mistake. I thought it was. I'm sorry. I thought it was I thought you were a commander. Sorry. Teach me not to read the thing. I am Dr. Isaac Stosh. I have been sent here by Starfleet Command to simply talk to each member of the Kismet crew. I understand that your ship has had a rough time lately, and I just want to make sure that everyone is all right. This is not an assessment of your abilities or anything like that. We just want everyone to have an opportunity to speak their minds in a safe environment.
Very well, sir.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. How is your new assignment shaping?
Well, I'm grateful to be here, sir. It's been a transition. It's been a sort of change. Original position on this Ericsson, but it's been good. It's been a step up. Yeah, I'm very grateful that Captain Brennan has this opportunity to be where I am.
What do you think personally about the missions you have been on recently?
Well, it's not for me to comment on the rightness or wrongness of the missions I've been on, sir. I'm the operations manager. The captain and the first officer give us directions, I carry my ability. I believe that I've performed well in this role. I believe the log will support the decisions I've made.
Again, Lieutenant, this is not anything about you. We're not here to get you. Not a performance evaluation. We're just trying to allow you to speak your mind, so to speak, and you do not have to worry. Everything you say here will be kept in the strictest confidence. This will not be heard outside of these walls.
Used against you in the court of law.
What's it?
Nothing. Sorry.
So, how was your last assignment, Lieutenant?
Well, I came out of the academy just about a little over 2 years ago. First assignment was USS Erickson coming out. It was certainly a different ship from the one I was on. It's quite a bit smaller, about half as big a crew. I was one of the few blue shirts on board, a non-medical natural science. So we were given a lot of different jobs here, sort of a flying squad, where I was assistant with operations of the ship. It was a good place to start. I think it helped to build the skills that I'm using right now. And is this answering your question, sir?
I see. Sorry, I'm pouring through your notes here. So I'm not too familiar with Trill. I understand that does he know this?
By the way, you're referring to the planet or the species?
I understand that you were joined not too long ago.
Yes, sir, that's correct. It was a little under a year ago.
How does see? I don't know much about the Trill, so please, if anything that you could tell me about how the Trill joining works.
This is the first time anyone's asked me about how the. I wouldn't exactly consider myself an expert. Basically, there's a creature, I would call it a symbiont. Probably has another more scientific name. But it is implanted in our bodies, and it basically fuses with us. It becomes part of it, has to become a part of it. I'm just look at my name. I'm Malco Ijula. I'm part Malco Purgen, the guy I was born as, and part Ijula, part this symbiont inside of me that carries a little piece of everyone it's ever joined with.
You seem kind of bitter about this situation, Lieutenant.
Don't get me wrong, sir. I'm not. I'm not bitter at all, sir. This has been, being joined is one of the best things that ever happened to me. But I was not. I wasn't exactly prepped for this. I mean, there's supposed to be a whole process. You're supposed to be training for years to make this happen. For me, it was an accident.
Oh, so if there's a whole process, how did you get to be joined with whatever you're joined with?
The symbiont, sir.
Oh, the symbiote. How did you become joined with this symbiote?
Well, it happened because the USS Erickson was behind the lines during the war. I was only on it for the last year. I graduated just a year before it ended. It wasn't involved in any major, but we were doing a whole lot of disaster relief. We had a lot of shuttlecraft, good transporters. We had a very large, very well-equipped sick bay. Plus, it seemed like just about both the cargo bays always had beds on. And it was after the war. There was a ship we got a distress call, and there was a Trill on board, whose body we found, and well, it turns out that of about 5 or so Trill on board USS Erickson, I'm the only who wasn't fighting off an infection or already joined. So that's
see.
how it happens.
I see. So you received the symbiote out of a necessity.
Yes, sir. You could say that.
And how have you been coping with this new symbiote?
Again, sir, I think my record speaks for itself. It hasn't been easy, but I've been handling. I've been coping. I've been doing my job. I've been life. I've been going forward.
Yes, your performance from all your commanders and all your superiors have been exemplary, but that's not really what I'm.
Have you?
Not really what I'm looking for. How are you doing?
Begging your pardon, sir. I'm not really sure how to answer that question. Starfleet Command told me to be here. Captain Grennan has told us he expects us to be here, so here I am, sir.
Very well. I think that should be all for today. There is one more thing I did want to ask you about. It appears that you have been sleeping in the Arboretum.
Sir?
Yeah, we've gotten a report from security that for the past few nights you have been sleeping in the Arboretum.
Sir, I have not been served the Regulation 15 notice.
This is you're not in trouble here, Ajula. I'm just asking why sleep there? Why not your quarters on Narendra?
Frankly, sir, I have a hard time. It was bad when I was on Kismet, and it's gotten a hell of a lot worse, since Kismet's was nearly destroyed. I spent a lot of time in the Arboretum at the gate. When I was on ship, it's quiet, it's peaceful, it's a big space. It just doesn't feel like I'm on a damn starship. Sometimes it makes the nightmares. The person who died before me was a Starfleet officer on board that ship found, or USS Opal. So I was doing maintenance on the Erickson, and immediately headed towards the shuttle bay, and I expected. I don't think there was any fighting when we got there, but shortly after we were recovering people, recovering bodies from the Opal Sea, I remember getting a communication. It was from the captain. And some Peergen report to sickbay. All the time I've been on that ship, I probably saw the captain maybe once in a little introductory, getting to know the crew thing. And once in a corridor, I show up in sickbay, and Captain Jitover, Commander Dr. Chief Medical First Officer are all there, all eyes on me. I'm standing at attention. And Dr. Boz points to a worm-like creature that says, Lieutenant Pearson, this is a symbiont we pulled from a body. Where it goes to death is a Jewel. And another compatible host next to it will die. Harza and Todrum are still fighting that infection again. Right now, you're it. You're the only available host. If you don't do this, the Jewel is going to die. Captain steps in and says, the only way this is going to happen, nobody's going to be performing any procedures against your will. Sam takes you. What the hell was I going to say? I was going to say no. So I lay down on the bio bed. I'm unconscious, and well, that's the end of Malco Pearson. I still have pretty vivid memories about the last moments of the, Brexin Ajula's life, the officer, lieutenant commander we found on the Opal Sea. So, sudden breach of the section of the ship she was in. We were venting atmosphere very quick. It was a pretty big breach. I remember eardrums popping. I just remember just being incapacitated very quickly and knowing this is going to be the end. And just a few days later, I was at the funeral. I was at my own damn funeral. There's something they don't really tell you about in the textbooks about natural symbiosis.
Definitely not.
Well, there were all those people there. A lot of people, friends of Commander Ajula, and I remember standing there, and they're all looking over at me, and thinking, I don't know if the person I knew is right over there, or sitting in that torpedo casing with the Federation flag draped over it. And to mention the people from Starfleet Security coming to visit me, reminding me of all my obligations to protect any classified information that Lieutenant Commander Ajula was privy to that I frankly don't even have the clearance to know. Yet here it is. I still have dreams about that funeral. Sometimes I'm me. Sometimes I'm the Malco Pearson standing there. Sometimes I'm the body in the torpedo casing. Sometimes I'm both. You know how dreams are. And frankly, I find it a little bit easier to keep these dreams from affecting my performance if I'm not, trying to fall asleep next to bulkheads. If I explained myself adequately, sir.
I do believe so, Lieutenant. I think that'll be all for today, and I'll let security know to allow you to stay in the Arboretum as long as you wish.
Well, sir, is there any way to keep this out of base records at all? Is there someone at security I can talk to?
Nothing that you said here today will leave this room. I have adequate clearance to hear everything you just said, and nothing leaves this room. This is part of the doctor-patient confidentiality. Everything you tell me will stay here.
Appreciate that, sir.
You are dismissed, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. I leave, and as soon as the door closes behind me, I pull out my tricorder and I verify whether there's a dampening field in place or whether there's any use of the internal sensors to record anything going on in that room.
Not that you could tell.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I think that would be a Jula through the looking glass.
Mm.
Whew.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna run to the bathroom really quick before we start the next one.
Okay. So, yeah.
Thank you.
So I know that
Good.
since, I know that since Pend wants to go last, it's either Efrix or me.
Yep.
I think you should go first, Efrix.
Okay.
Oh well, then do you want to go? Oh, okay.
Okay, if you're tired, wouldn't it be better to get to it before you got more tired?
Oh dear.
Oh, that's why. Okay, I was like, because you could just do yours and then hop off. That's why. Got
Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
Okay, I see in the messages I was cutting out a lot. Could you at least hear most of it? Did I make any
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, yeah, I was able to like coherently follow your story.
Good. I'm not sure I could coherently follow my story.
No, it was just like,
Sentences.
yeah, it'd just be like a word or two would be omitted every now and again, basically.
Yeah, we had
usually
to.
it wasn't an important word. It was like the or.
Yeah, we had to fill in the blanks quite a bit.
Uh,
Yeah,
But it was still
it
coherent.
yeah, it happens quite a bit with your mic or your setup. I don't quite understand why.
Do you have mic sensitivity? Like do you have just sound sensitivity on?
I
Rather
don't
than
really.
push the
I don't really.
Yeah,
know
it
microphones
happens
at
with
technical level.
your jewelers, and it
Yeah,
happens with some
I
other
just use
people's mics as
a
well.
webcam.
It
You
cuts off
usually
at
sound
the
okay. You don't
beginning
cut
or
out
just at the
unless you're
end,
like just gone.
especially
Okay.
if you are like push to
Uh,
talk. So you have to make sure like to hold
Yeah,
it
You
for a
might
second
try
first
switching
to
to push to talk,
go ahead.
Visual.
Or you could go into like settings and they have like mic sensitivity, and you can move around the threshold of where it'll start transmitting what you're saying.
Oh, I see. So you think the issue is with Discord recognizing sound?
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. That used to happen to me.
Because it's like when you start to run out of breath, or like you get a little bit softer. That's when it cuts out.
I see.
Yeah, that could make sense. Like at the end of the sentence, you would normally be out of your breath, ready to take another one.
That would make sense. Yeah.
And because you have a lower voice, it has a harder time picking you up to begin with.
Dang it.
Cool, but yeah, nicely done.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next?
I think I was voted.
You were voted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Let me read yours really quick.
Doctors are the best patients.
All right.
That's what they say, right?
Sure. All right, so we'll go ahead and head back to the counselor's office. Again, how I described it is how this gentleman looks. Like if you're really like really want to know how he looks, just imagine like an old like a guy probably in his 60s, like a German doctor type thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like Freud, but like not, you know.
I'm
Does he have
picking-
like circle frame glasses?
You know, I was kind of assuming we were going to be dealing with some kind of higher ranked officer in the medical corps, like maybe a Betazoid, not a Freud knockoff.
Oh, I was picturing Stanley Tucci's character in Captain America.
Mhm.
Oh
The
yeah, yeah, yeah,
doctor? Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, something like that. Yes. I even searched for like a German name. I'm like, okay, yes, this works. Right. Almost ready. All right. All right, so you walk into his to his office. He stands up and greets you. It's like, Dr. F. Fricks, and he reaches out to shake your hand. It's nice to finally meet you.
Doctor?
So how is the and he kind of points to a chair by his desk. How has the Kismet crew been holding up?
It's been a rough couple months,
I could,
culminating in the near destruction of the ship. But ever since I came aboard, it's just been one emotional crisis after the other.
and he kind of looks at you and is like, "Oh,
I'm not sure how much anyone else has mentioned or if you've been privy to our reports, but my first mission after boarding the Kismet, we discovered a insectoid-like race. They had been in stasis for millennia, more. They had been one of the first species to interact with the Romulans, and one of the first to feel the Romulan zest for imperialism.
I see."
When we looked them up, they were peaceful, knowledgeable. They picked up our language like it was not a problem, like it was easy. They were the developers of the singularity system that the Romulans use for space travel. It was amazing. They shared some kind of hive mind, which isn't unexpected for a species that shares so many similarities to Earth insects. But they couldn't sense the rest of their race, so they had us help them investigate. Their world was decimated. A nuclear holocaust. And they elected to join their fallen brothers. It was tragic. There's no other way to put it.
I can't even have words to describe a scene like that.
There was so much we could have learned from them. So much we could have shown them that was left. Far be it from me to dictate how someone lives or doesn't live, but it seems an awful waste. Follow that mission up with the enslavement of a sentient species and a meeting with a god, apparently. Plus the near destruction of the ship, and it's just been rough, to put it nicely.
Sounds like it. So what do you think about all of this that you have experienced, all that you have done?
I've never. Oh, that's a lie. I have, but it's been a while since I've felt so helpless at helping other people. I don't seek to be egotistical, but I'm a good doctor. The fact that so many things have been up to judgment calls of the patients, or inadequate facilities, or some kind of supernatural intervention. It's hard to come to terms with the fact that I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Surely that cannot be true, Doctor. Surely there are people that you must have helped.
A few, but there's so many more. There's so much more I could have done on that planet.
So,
So many injured and sick. They didn't even know how to bandage a cut, or splint a broken bone, or what to eat, how to just the infirm lying on the side of the road dying. I taught a few, but we didn't have any supplies to spare for them, and I couldn't teach them more than what they could use that they had. I couldn't just start handing out hypo sprays willy-nilly. They didn't even know that medicine was a thing prior to us getting there, and they called us gods and gave us their food. They were starving. They gave us their food, and they were starving.
but
There were
it's
kids starving, and they gave us.
but it sounds to me like you helped those people, Doctor. With what you just said, it sounds like before they met you, they couldn't help themselves treat their own injuries. You helped them to do that, did you not?
I hope so. I don't know how much of it stuck. And it scares me that they might think that only a god could do that for them.
But is
But
it possible that perhaps you shown them different?
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think that the terms that the captain came to with the aggressing party will make things better for them in the future. But I don't know. They've had centuries of that ingrained in them. I just fear it'll take more than a day and a half of me making splints out of chair legs to help them.
But surely the species is capable of learning. I mean, you
Yes.
demonstrated that by teaching them. So
Yes, but
perhaps what you taught them could be the start of their own medical practices.
I hope so. Come to find out that the planet is rich in this thing that makes amazing medicine. This herb that makes the most amazing medicine, and they were harvesting it, but they had no idea what they had.
But perhaps now they do.
Oh, that'll depend on the other species, I think, and whatever the terms the Federation came to. We didn't know while we were on the planet. We didn't know either. Maybe they will.
But
I hope
surely
they
in
will.
this situation, Doctor, you are not helpless to these people.
No. But if I had just had a little bit more time, I feel like I could have done so much more.
So before you mentioned something about a god.
Yes, that's the most crazy one. That's on the word of the captain, but we became trapped in an underground tunnel system, separated from each other, the away team, and we all experienced hallucinations.
So there was some type of drug in this cave.
No, well, it looked like it to me, but no. It was more than like visions. Not anything that we could explain as far as some kind of chemical cause for what we were seeing. The most we came up with was strange readings on our tricorders, energy readings that didn't make sense, that we couldn't quantify or explain. They just were. But each of us experienced something different. Apparently, Lieutenant Evans was in some kind of sport. He killed a giant squid or kraken or something like that.
He tried.
No, he told us he won.
Well, I did correct that. I did retract that statement.
Oh, I choose to
But
believe
hey,
that he.
if you didn't hear it,
I choose to believe that Evans won.
well, apparently you didn't hear it, so that's cool.
Oh Christ.
The captain was visited by 2 visions of different entities, one of which claimed to be the head god of the pantheon of that. Sorry, my dogs are here. Go on, shoo. Sorry. Claimed to be the head of the pantheon of that planet's ancient gods. My vision was terrifying.
How so?
I saw a little girl. Couldn't have been more than 10, probably younger. She asked me if I could help her.
How did she want you to help, Doctor?
She said her mother was sick, and she kept asking if I could help. I said yes. I wasn't sure exactly what I could do, but don't tell little kids that you can't. So I followed her. And it opened up into a cavern full of people, all in the late stages of Ferox plague. The fungus was everywhere. They were dying. They were so sick. And everything I tried touching them made them hurt. I had nothing but tricorders with me. I had basic medical supplies, things that could ease the pain. But most of them were as good as dead. She asked me again if I could help them. And when I turned to tell her that I couldn't help them, but that I'd help her, she was covered in it. That oozing black sores. Until she dissolved in it. Still begging me to help. And then I was back where I started. In that separation in the cavern. And then Evans was there, and then the captain, security chief, was this is the most disturbing of the less than healthy adventures of late.
And is this why you have been overworking yourself to try to save the members of the Kismet crew?
I don't think it's overworking. I don't need sleep like the humans do. So I can take extra shifts. It's not a problem. Better me than some of the younger officers.
I honestly don't know where to go from here.
I mean, you could explain that sleeping isn't the only thing that off-duty helps.
Oh yeah, that's a good
That
point.
you need time to decompress even if you're not sleeping. But that's not
Yeah,
a
all the
healthy attitude to take.
God,
They-
God damn it! Stop solving your own psychological issues, Doctor. God damn it!
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good there, unless you got anything else.
No, that's fine. Thanks for the talk, Doc. Humans have such funny idioms.
Not a problem, Doctor. And remember, try to take some time for yourself.
She kind of like flaps her hand like, yeah.
All right.
Come on, we're both doctors. We both know I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, basically that's what that was.
And that's why I didn't push the issue.
Great. So, then I think next is me.
Cool.
Okay. So, Grennan walks in and takes a seat, and he just lets out a sigh.
And the doctor just kind of leans forward on his desk. How are you, Captain Grennan?
Well, as be expected, I guess. This whole ordeal has been troubling, to say the least.
Please continue.
I've had to write a lot of letters, counselor. A lot of condolences for families who will never see their brother again, never see their cousin, their father, etc. And it never gets easier.
I could imagine it never will, Captain.
Agreed. And through all of this, I've been asking myself a question. You see, for a while, I was on the fence as to whether or not I was worthy of my command. And after a long time of thinking through the many trials and tribulations of my command, I came to the conclusion that, yes, I'm worthy of command. But after what just happened, a new question has crept into my mind, one that I don't know the answer to, and will probably require a lot more introspection than this counseling session can give me. The question now isn't whether or not I'm worthy of command. The question is whether or not I deserve it in the first place.
Now, why would you not think you are deserving of a command, Captain?
I think about all the people who died while our ship was trapped in that maze. Not the first death that I've seen during my time in command, but certainly the largest loss of life. A lot of them low-ranking crew members. Many of them, and he looks at the counselor, it was their first assignment. I don't know if you've seen my record, counselor.
I've had an opportunity to look at it, Captain.
Right. In that case, you already know the direction I'm going with this.
I might, but please, in your own words, Captain, I would like to hear it.
Of course. The path to a command is often paved a certain way. People get to a command after a long career serving aboard their starship and proving their mettle from the lowest rank to the highest. I never had to do that. And it all traces back right when I graduated from the academy. And now we are gonna go and flashback, kids.
It's flashback o'clock.
And we join a younger looking, like 22-year-old Harmon Grennan. He appears to be walking out of a room that's right behind him. Sort of a large gathering of people all discussing everything. And, sort of as we fade into the flashback, the last thing you hear from the adult Harmon is, I remember I had just graduated. and I was just finishing up a party that my parents had thrown to congratulate me from graduating the academy. I had returned home to Boston for a short period, but I still hadn't heard about my first assignment, and I was definitely anxious. And so now we join Harmon as he's just walking down the hallways of the quite large building he's in, and he's wringing his hands. Okay. You can do this. You can do this, Harmon. Wonder what I'm gonna get. And he walks, he's just keeps walking, and eventually he comes sort of just to the archway of the door to his room, and he walks in. All right. I know I said I wasn't gonna look, but he presses the button on his console, and he says, Harmon Grennan to Professor Wright.
This is Professor Wright.
Professor, it's Harmon.
Yes. What can I do for you, Harmon?
Well, things have been going here, but the party's kinda winding down now, and, well, I'm getting a bit anxious. I know I'm gonna be receiving my, first assignment tomorrow. I've put in quite a few requests for some science vessels. I was thinking one could possibly be posting on the Da Vinci might be in my future. But I don't know. Honestly, I'm a little nervous. I have no idea what the future's going to hold for me now that I'm out of the academy. I mean, in the academy, I always knew what I was supposed to do. And just this, even if it's only for 12 hours between not knowing where I'm going to be and what I'm going to do, it's kind of nerve-wracking.
I don't know what you want me to respond with.
Well, let me just think of where I want to go with that then. Kind of nerve-wracking. But at the end of it all, though, I appreciate everything you've done for me, Professor. It was definitely a risk you took when you agreed to take me on for your advanced legal studies course. There was a high likelihood that I probably wasn't going to pass it, but you took the risk.
Of course, Grennan, you're a very promising student. I think you will do well at your first assignment, wherever that happens to end up.
Right. Now, by the by, Ed, you know what his first assignment ended up being, right?
I don't think he gave that to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you may have remembered it. His first assignment, what's his name? The professor, Miles Wright, he tapped Harmon to join him on a diplomatic mission.
Ah.
To the Halon conference. So
That makes more sense.
So, yeah, you see why I'm going in this direction.
Yes. Does he know that now?
The professor? Oh, yes. The professor pulled some strings.
Oh, okay. So I think I could do something with that then.
Yeah. I apologize. I should have made that a bit more clear in the messages to you.
Well, I don't even think you gave me messages about what you were doing.
Whoops.
Yeah, the only thing you sent me was one post about something to do with his graduation and his assignment.
Right.
was-
It was one of those things where I assumed because I had given you my I assumed you still had access to the what was it? The service record that I gave you a while back.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't
Okay.
looked at any of those.
Fair
Cool.
enough. Okay. But okay.
But Harmon, I don't think you need to look for those orders. I kind of already have them.
Wait, you do, but those aren't supposed to be given to us until the dissemination tomorrow.
Well, this is a special case.
Okay.
And this is where you could tell you that you're going to with him to that conference.
The Halon conference. I've been hearing about that. It's a big one. Are you sure you want me along?
I have never seen someone more promising than you, Harmon. I think you would be a perfect addition to my team.
Right. Right.
I know it's not exactly what you were expecting.
It definitely wasn't. I was hoping for one of those archaeological outposts, but I don't know. One of the archaeological research ships, but I'm certainly not going to turn this down. An opportunity to go with one of the most well-respected diplomats in the past 50 years to a conference. I didn't even know you were coming out of retirement, sir.
Well, the needs of the Federation dictate what all of us need to do, Harmon. And this is one of those times that calls for my personal attention.
Of course. But yeah, I need to start preparing. I was getting ready for assignment to a Starfleet ship. This is gonna call for something a little different. I'll start packing.
Very good, Harmon.
And then I think, I know it was a bit short, but yeah, gonna cut back to the counselor's office. And from there, I went to the Halon conference. And then I got my next assignment. Administrative posting at a small little archaeological outpost. It was really out of the way. Nothing really happened there. And after that, I just kept getting these nice little cushy administrative jobs. Always keeping an eye out for the people below me, never being the person at the bottom of the ladder myself. And I guess I never had to put myself in a position where I was the front line. So the question I have to ask myself is, do I deserve the captaincy? I haven't had to take any of the risk. It's always been other people taking the risk so I could enjoy my nice cushy time on a archaeology outpost digging up pots and knives.
So it sounds like all of your assignments, you've gotten everything that you wanted, everything you hoped for, everything you were working for.
Exactly.
So did you not want eventually to take command?
I did. Oh, certainly I did. But since taking command, I've seen the hardships that people have to go through to get to where they are. I haven't had to go through any of them. And I feel guilty about that. That I haven't had to put my life on the line for something bigger than myself. If I haven't done that, can I really call myself a commander?
But surely you've had your difficult situations out there. Surely you've come to situations where potentially you weren't coming back. So how can you say that you haven't experienced this?
Right, but those situations have always been situations in which my decisions would result in the loss of the people below me. I've never had to take an order that puts my own life at risk. I know how to give orders, I never had to take them. I don't know. I suppose this is a question that I'm probably not going to answer today.
Well, after this last situation, do you think you understand that better?
Certainly, and I suppose understanding it is the first step.
So I would say you are on your way, Captain.
Thank you, Counselor. If you don't...
And I've talked to many captains, especially after the Dominion War. And I have never talked to a captain who has gotten used to writing condolence letters.
That's reassuring. That's reassuring.
So when I say that never gets easier, I mean that, and it shouldn't.
And you know, that shouldn't be reassuring, but it is. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you for coming in, Captain.
And the captain leaves.
All right. All right, so who's left?
That would be Pend, if he has the energy for it. Pend? You there, buddy?
Do it append.
Pend?
Wait, can anyone go to the stream and see it? Because I think it
I
shows
don't-
like him.
I
in the
don't
stream.
I don't see him. He's not in the shot.
Oh,
That's a thing. Well, Pend wanted to respond to someone in the chat. Pend wanted to go last, so that's part of it. Oh dear.
Security locate penned.
Security, somebody locate Pend. Oh,
security.
no.
No, just ask the computer.
Maybe Pend really died on that ship.
Yeah.
Even when he was being someone else.
Mm.
You did some pretty good death acting, I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Unlike me. Computer locate Pend. Somebody. Oh boy, that's a. Was someone looking at the stream see when he left?
He's still on here listed as muted.
No, I know. I'm talking about in regards to the stream because he's on camera. This is
he?
I hope he didn't fall asleep.
Oh,
That
That's
would.
why. That's why I pinged him.
Huh.
Everybody spam pins so his computer pings.
Oh, did he?
This could be a really long stream.
Oh, hang on. I gotta look at this. I gotta look at the stream. See. Oh my god! I think he actually fell asleep.
that's kind of hilarious.
Oh no! Oh god!
Wait. So when you say you think he fell asleep, like,
give me a minute. I have an idea. I have an idea. I'll be right.
So the captain's voice puts him to sleep.
I could do another scene if you guys want.
yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of this and get some water.
Ugh. Holy shit! It's 8 o'clock already. God damn.
Yeah, it's late for him too. It's probably like midnight for him. Like 5 hours ahead of us, I think.
Yeah.
5-hour difference to UK
Yep.
from the
Yep.
East Coast.
He's never fallen asleep before, so that's what's interesting.
I think I woke him up. Oh no! Oh jeez.
No one's
Well-
doing nothing.
Well, if that's the case, then I think you want to do what you mentioned earlier and just skip you pens so that we can finish up.
Oh shit! I'm looking at the chat now.
Yeah, you fell asleep.
Fair enough. Shit happens.
It's all good, man.
That's one for the record books.
We just didn't want to leave you there all night.
Well, yeah, that would have been pretty fucking stupid.
Okay, so in that case, I assume Ed has some plan for ending this.
The only real plan I had was all of you guys kind of at the bar, drowning your sorrows and having a chance to interact with each other there. That was about it.
Okay.
Ken seems pretty drunk, so
Yeah, he's pretty drunk, so I think we'll leave him. Which is
I think he
ironic.
started drinking earlier.
Yeah, he must have been drinking a lot because he's a Tellarite.
Just the captain, he puts me to sleep.
Is he an argumentative drunk?
Oh, I see you're not MIA anymore.
No, I'm conscious now.
Oh man.
Oh, so you did fall asleep?
Yes, he fell
Apparently.
asleep. He fell asleep. I had to leave the chat and call him in order to wake him up
No comment.
because the call tone is loud enough to wake someone up. Mm-hmm.
So yes, so we'll send everybody there. If you guys want to do anything there, cool. If not, I think we could probably call it.
Wait, send us where?
Bar
We're in the
Or-
bar. We're in the bar at Narendra in back.
You know, because all of you are sad and need to drown your sorrows.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll work.
bar fight.
Wrong
I don't
ship.
think that's a good idea.
Where angry drunk start breaking glasses on his
You
head.
know, one of the weirdest experiences that I happened after I was joined.
What would that be, Lieutenant?
They break a bottle.
I was given a few weeks leave. You know, right after happened after the on Earth. Time I was on Earth since graduating from the academy, and I was in Archer Barracks the whole time that I was on that campus. Daily commute was basically a walk from there to the Cochrane Center, where about 90% of my classes. And you know the walk. I mean, you had to take some extension courses. We go right by the memorial for the Klingon War 2250s.
I think we've
Yeah,
all
I just-
walked past it at one point or another.
Yeah, it's just a landmark. It's just this thing in the background. And I realized as I was going by, I knew 1 in 8 of the names on that. This is
Really?
third time I graduated from the academy. First time was Lazid, then it was Brexon, then it was me. All actually on different tracks. It's I felt like one of those obnoxious tour guides that go around prospects.
And
those
on your
random stories.
right, you have. Yeah, I know what you mean. Why do you mention it?
The doc wanted me to talk about the experience being joined, and a lot of it's just all these memories of times you otherwise just wouldn't think about. Just random stories in the background. It's like if you remembered, the time Napoleon sent you to march across.
I think it's real interesting, Lieutenant. We all go to this. We all go to a counselor thinking that they're going to tell us something that we don't know about ourselves. But I think the moment we walk in that door, we know exactly what we need to hear. I think they just remind us of it.
Do you say so, sir?
Do you know what, Captain?
Oh, this is going to be good.
What is it, Lieutenant?
You stupid decision. I don't know.
And he just sort of pats Penn on the shoulder a few times and says, "Whatever you say, Lieutenant, whatever you say." Hey, and he turns to Evans and he says, "Hey, make sure that Lieutenant Penn gets back to his room okay." And he thinks for a moment. He says, "Yeah, his room, because our quarters are finally fixed. Tonight's our last night sleeping in the quarters here on Narendra Station."
I
Frankly-
really hope they didn't screw up the Kismet.
Well, I don't think we have to worry about that too much, Lieutenant. And he
I'm
looks
sure
out
Nate
the
will fix it.
window, overseeing the USS Kismet that is pretty much entirely repaired except for a couple of worker bees floating in close proximity.
Does anyone know where Penn's quarters are?
Just take mine, Penn. It's really close by.
He's so drunk.
You know,
And
I just remembered. It's my daughter's birthday today.
oh,
You have a daughter.
I have 2 children. Yeah.
oh well, if you need to take the time to contact them, go right ahead.
I might do that. It is, she looks at her pad. They're probably sleeping. It is the wee hours of the morning where they're at.
Sleep is for the weak.
That's what I tried to tell the counselor, and he wouldn't listen to me. Apparently, I need to take personal time more often.
Well,
Yeah, how much time has this counselor spent on a deep space exploration ship? Yeah, personal time.
personal time. Well,
I
They sent a civvy to talk to us? A civvy?
well, you know what? I think we've taken enough personal time ourselves. Frankly, I think we just need to get back out there. We've spent enough time stewing in our own misery.
Yeah.
let's
You know,
go.
maybe
And,
next time we can actually get a tractor ship that tries to ram it. I've been reading the logs, Captain.
Ah. Well then, everyone. I think that's enough feeling sorry for ourselves. I think we should go reacquaint ourselves with an old friend.
You're here.
Who's gonna carry Pinned?
I was assigned to that.
Look around for an enlisted guy and order them to do it.
Nah, I gave that duty to Lieutenant Evans.
Can he though?
Because he's one of the few people I know who could actually manage to get Pend to, like, actually go in a direction that he wants him to.
That's when he's barely conscious.
So yeah, I think we're gonna just head back to the ship, and that's probably a good place to stop the episode.
All right, cool.